Scaling shouldn't be stressful at all. Watch how this team now build out a remote team without burning out and hiring high quality talent.
So my name is Greg Cham, and I own a painting business, residential painting business.
Okay, where are you located, Greg? Where do you have your business?
I live in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Utah, amazing. Because given that you just hired your first remote member, how long you've been working with Remote Latinos, and how long did it took you to actually find this first candidate?
Yeah, it was what I think a little bit over a month. Is how long we were looking. And the process was pretty smooth. I had some help with the screening calls and getting candidates and getting things interviewed, and or getting people interviewed, and then just really had to hop back in the final interview. So for me, it was super smooth. Not too much time on my end, and the candidates that we all got to final interview were all quality candidates that I would have hired anyway.
Definitely. So you have a large range of candidates to consider, but I think you went ahead and hired Gabriel as your first remote member, because at the end, what made the experience of hiring with Remote Latinos different than other companies?
I haven't hired through a VA agency before, so I don't really have much to compare to. But compared to when I hire my team off of Indeed, and I'm doing all the screenings and the phone screenings and the application reviews and then the final interviews and then the hiring, I think it was a lot easier because you guys had a template for the contract, took care of all of the legalities of that, as well as I guess like providing a process where the screening was a little bit easier. And again, I think Corinne buffered some of that for me, but from what I understand, all the applicants submit like a resume and a video review, which helps screen already before we actually do the screen. So overall, yeah, I think it was really smooth. I probably only spent like 3 or 4 hours in the past month to be on interviews or review calls, and to discuss this. So pretty straightforward.
Definitely. So it was a smooth process to help you save time, which is at the end the main purpose of this, to find quality members, and as well at the same time save you some useful time for you to focus on your company, right?
Right.
Perfect. Can you describe any specific moments or interactions that impressed you of the whole experience?
I think what I was probably most impressed by was I wasn't sure what the quality of candidates was going to be for a role such as, so I was hiring for an appointment setter where they're going to be on the phone a lot talking to clients who are stateside. I wasn't sure how much would everyone's English be good, like verbal English, be able to understand and think on their feet about when clients ask certain questions, because all the time when I'm making calls, sometimes the clients ask me stuff that is not really in a framework. And so I was kind of curious as to how it would work, how the candidates would perform, seeing as they are all ESL, and not living in the States. Because I have friends that are ESL, live in the States, and their English is fine and fluent because they're surrounded by it all the time. I was curious how it would be for people who live in the country. So, but overall, I was pretty impressed with the candidates, and really enjoyed talking to them and having discussions. Doing it.
Definitely. All right, perfect. Thank you for that. And what would you tell to other business owners who wants to hire somebody remotely? What would you tell them about Remote Latinos?
It's hard for me to say something right now because I haven't actually had, we just hired and I haven't actually experienced what it's like to have a VA yet. But from what I expect it to be, I think that it will save me a lot of time, and more than that, I think it will help the business be more consistent, because right now, if I have to go make the calls, I have to sit down or, I have to have some time to do it. And so I don't follow up as often as I should be. And I know
Yeah.
that having someone who's doing it full time means that I know I'm going to be hitting all the follow-ups. I know that we're going to be calling within the first 10 minutes. I know that we're going to be, it just gives me a lot more security in knowing that we're going to be following up and nurturing these leads better than I can on my own. So I think that's probably going to be the biggest benefit. And in terms of like working with remote Latinos, I think having a platform where freelancers are, you have a database of freelancers that are willing to work, that are open to the opportunity and have experience working with U.S. companies. I think that is a lot easier than me trying to go find someone. Like, I don't even know how I would do it. So I think it's very helpful to have a catch-all platform to do it.
Love to hear that. Based on that, how will you rate the overall experience of hiring, this first hiring experience? How will you rate it?
Overall hiring experience, I'd say out of 10, I'd give it like a 9. I don't want to give it a 10 because I don't know what's perfect, how good something can be. But overall, I had a very good experience. I don't really think there were very many drawbacks. So yeah, I'd say 9.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine because at the end it's your first experience with us. You need to check how Gabriel will be performing on the position. But I mean, it's at the end a very great experience that you had at the beginning. Finally, Greg, do you have any closing words, additional thoughts you want to share?
No, I don't think so. Again, everything I said it before, but everything was really smooth and really easy, and I didn't spend too much of my time looking, and still got a really quality candidate. So I think that's pretty efficient.
Stop scrolling and start hiring quality people from Latin America. From Mexico to Argentina, Venezuela, Colombia. Hire your next Shakira, your next Sofia Vergara, hire your next Lionel Messi. I'll see you in the description below. Book a call with us.